It's alive.
Welcome, folks. Hey, cheers.
Ooh, cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers. Oh, wine. Okay. Mm.
Yep. Cheap wine.
Welcome to frickin' Deep Fried Neurons, where we our Friday night, where we do Friday night stuff and drink and I guess we make things too. We talk about it.
That would be
small
that
amount.
would be. We make projects to help deal with the quarantine. Follow up.
We do that.
Hey.
We're really gonna work on that elevator pitch.
Yeah, we say that every time and then we don't.
Yeah, no, no, no.
How about
I think
we're
that's
deeply
part of
frying
the
our
format.
neurons with.
Woo.
How many is this now, Todd?
No. I fixed it now. I fixed it. It's working now.
Please don't spill your wine.
Yeah. Well, this is why normally sippy cups are only allowed in the lab, not.
Yeah. All right. So
So who are we? Who are you, Carlin?
I'm Carlin.
Oh no.
Woo-hoo.
Really?
Cool.
Okay.
I'm Todd. Toddbot. I'm on Twitter. You've seen me, or
I'm
you're
Todd.
gonna see me.
Mhm.
Who are you, Barb?
I'm Barb. I make things. I'm Barb makes things on all the places.
Do we have anybody listening to us right now? Oh, it looks like we have Jay. Hi,
Jay's Jay.
KF4FKCO.
Hi, Jay.
KF4KCO, which is his call sign.
Excellent.
Sorry if that was a secret.
That's his
What are y'all
spy
drinking?
handle.
Mine is Carlin Aroma, which is just too long to put on there.
I think it'll fit.
Look at mine. I'm Barb makes things.
Yeah.
I guess we can do it later.
15 letters.
15 letters. Well, I am drinking tea, like black tea, standard, pretty basic Irish breakfast tea, with cream and a shot of whiskey. It's the Uncle Nearest whiskey. I threw a cardamom pod and a clove in there, but you don't seem to be working it out all that much.
That seems pretty weird. It's kind of like a tea version of a hot toddy or something.
Yeah. I was trying to decide whether I was going to go with cream or citrus, but I went with cream. It's the weirdo. We gotta use it up. It's our weirdo vegan cream that we got for a vegan recipe. It's not bad, but it's
Is this the coffee creamer or is this the?
This is the
Weirdo vegan cream. If it doesn't actually say weirdo vegan cream, I'm going to be disappointed.
it says vegan creamer.
I mean,
Vegan creamer.
vegan equals weirdo, So.
It's got MCT brain oil.
Ooh,
Brain oil?
It's
Brain
keto
oil?
friendly. I'm not really medium chain triglycerides.
Brain oil?
Brain oil.
Made from
So
brains.
oil made from brains.
From real brains. Real
From
human
vegan
brains.
from vegan brains?
Vegan brains. Oh my gosh, what's a vegan brain?
No.
What would a vegan brain be though?
Not
For real.
Oh.
Like the brain of any cow, any antelope, any.
That's not vegan though.
I mean, the animal's vegan. It's
No,
their
'cause they
brain.
drink milk.
But it wouldn't be vegan.
Oh, you mean like a meal like a substitute? Cauliflower.
For brain oil though? Would it be like cauliflower oil?
Oh, for a brain oil. Maybe a mushroom or a jojoba or argan oil.
Jojoba.
Is that how it's actually? I never really know how that's pronounced.
Or I guess walnut oil, because walnuts look like little brains. It's walnut oil.
I could see that. Okay. Walnut oil.
Anyway, now we spent like way too much time talking about this. Oh, also a key trick. Your tea will taste sweeter if it's in a red cup.
I gotta get around.
Because psychology.
They've done studies, and that if you serve tea in a red cup, it will taste sweeter than in a white cup.
hack.
Wait, where are these studies? Can you link those in the description?
It's big red cup. They want you to like believe
Red
that the red
cups.
cups.
It's not in a YouTube video. I don't know what to tell you.
It's on the internet, so it must be true.
Yeah, it was a whole like episode on how to make tea.
Well, I'm drinking another cheap red wine. This one is called La Ferme Julien.
How to make it better and
Which I don't even know. Didn't know the name until I just read it. It's the goat wine. It's It's also got a screw top, which is very important because easy access, and it's like $7 at Trader Joe's. So
Wow.
it's kind of it's kind of pricey for me, but but it's got a pretty good.
Yeah. Okay. What is the highest? What makes something pricey? What's the limit of pricey?
Oh, like for me,
What do you
probably
think?
probably like mid $20.
Yes.
Yeah.
Make something.
Yeah. There's a really nice wine store down the street from us called Monopole Wine.
$20 though. You said this is pricey.
No, this is like $7. Yeah. But I mean, like, it's pricey for my daily drinking wine.
Your daily drinker.
The wine that I drink when I get up in the morning. The wine that I drink while I'm taking a shower.
That's the box of wine, sweetie.
That's right. The permanently installed box of wine in the shower.
You just carry it around on your shoulder with you.
That's right.
It's
like one of those cheesehead hats, but it's a box of wine.
Yeah. With the cups and the straws that come down to you. Yeah.
Exactly.
Somehow I could see you doing that.
So what are you drinking, Barb?
I'm going boring. I'm Newcastle.
Oh, Newcastle's good.
It is good, and I like it. And that's
Agreed.
the kind of day it is. It is a day for drinking something simple that I know is good, and will do the job.
Yep, sounds great.
It doesn't have a screw top though.
See, that's the problem. But you've got tools.
I do. I actually used a bottle opener for it though.
We have a really interesting bottle opener that gets them off. You put it on the bottle and you smush it up, and it gets it off without bending the top.
The cap.
The cap. Because part of why we did that is because my dad's wife made us these tuits and that are crocheted onto bottle caps.
That's good. That's really cool.
And I thought, well, maybe one day.
So we have a small collection of bottle caps that aren't all bent up.
Yeah, you need them all not smushed.
Well, if you ever decide to give up on that and you want to get rid of them, don't forget.
You like them? Okay.
Yeah. Bottle caps.
Ooh, we got Adele and and Jay talking.
Woohoo! All right.
How does vegan creamer compare to $2 Chuck?
Hard to get into vegan.
Unless you're in the dessert.
They do different rolls.
Yeah, we've got that.
Actually, this is pretty good. I mean, if you're talking vegan creamer, I think $2 Chuck is better than vegan creamer.
Okay.
But if you're talking,
okay, no. You can use $2 Chuck to flavor the bottom of your cobbler, and you use the vegan creamer to flavor the top of your cobbler.
Yeah.
So they both, and how they relate to cobbler. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
That sounds kind of terrifying, really.
I mean, it's fruity, jammy stuff, but with a biscuit top.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these vegan replacements for things are good when you're using them in a recipe, and they're meant to be sort of like you don't really taste cream or milk or whatever in some of these like pastry, but maybe it'll work on a creamer if you use a vegan creamer.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. So we're exploring a little bit of vegan cooking, and so finding not all vegan cooking requires replacements, but I will say that this recipe book.
No, it's vegan for everybody.
But
For everybody.
has some Well, as the most consistent recipes. Like some cookbooks are vegan cookbooks are like all over the map, like very vegan recipes. Um, it's a little more heavy on substitutors than some of the other vegan cookbooks we have, because it's sort of trying to like ape conventional foods more. But it's very, very specific. So, anyway.
Vegan marshmallows? Aren't marshmallows vegan already?
The original marshmallows are, because they're marshmallows.
Plant, yeah.
But modern marshmallows aren't.
Huh. What are marshmallows made of?
Like a gelatin, I think. Oh, there's a lot of gelatin.
The marsh animal that lives in marshes.
Oh.
Yeah.
Called the mallow.
Yeah. You got to get out the mallow. It's like what they have for bones, you know.
It's like yes, it's similar to marrow.
when you live in a marsh, it turns all squiggly, so it's just called mallow instead of marrow.
Oh, are we looking at things?
I think we might be, but I might have shared the wrong window, in which case.
Oh, are you sharing a window?
I will put it up.
Oh yeah, that's the window. I'm sharing a window.
So we put the window.
Ooh, visual aids.
I permit it to be so.
Yes.
Carlin.
Carlin. All right.
Oh, so are we talking about our projects?
I think so. That's. I mean.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's the next thing on the agenda.
Or wait, what? No.
This week we're going to talk about mental waste processing, but before we jump into that, I wanted to mention that today is Juneteenth, which a lot of people have become aware of this year for the very first time, which is exciting. And if you haven't already, I would actually recommend to people that they watch the documentary 13th, which is about the 13th Amendment, which is the thing that actually ended slavery. Rather than the Emancipation Proclamation, which didn't really. And so it also discusses how maybe slavery didn't totally end, and it connects a lot with the current Black Lives Matter movement because the prison industrial complex really arose to replace slavery as an access to cheap labor. But so it's a good thing to do, maybe even better than watching us. But do it after or something. But it's highly recommend it. And part of why I wanted to do mental waste processing is I have noticed my own thought process sort of like hardening, like I'm not processing my own mental waste. When you don't exhale, you can't inhale. And when you don't exhale, you tend to retreat to fixed comfort thinking versus growth mindset thinking. So I saw this graphic and I really liked it because I got on the growth mindset bandwagon, which is a little jargony back when I was doing more teaching at community colleges. And I like the idea of, okay, like if you're freaking out and you're starting to resist change, there's a way to sort of like breathe out and switch. And the fact that I was starting to feel myself not being able to process things, not being able to like keep going, do the things I know how to do is part of why I wanted to do the mental waste processing theme. So originally it was going to be like a sharps disposal bucket. You know, anyone who's had blood drawn in a doctor's office, like they take a thing and then they drop it in this little like plastic bucket. Or I was thinking of doing cognitive behavioral therapy worksheets and putting them into origami because of Barb mentioning Fujisuma, which is very pretty. So I thought that would be kind of interesting to have like journal pages being turned into origami, but this is like way above my origami degree. Also, I don't really do it. like I do it like once this week, blah blah blah, and then I don't think I would actually keep it up. And so anyway, so what I ended up making is this thing here.
Make the picture bigger.
This looks really cool.
Yeah.
Oh,
you got the real version of it.
Go full screen. There we go.
Mm-hmm. And so I guess I should look at the video now.
Now, is that bubble wrap or am I?
That is bubble wrap. So you can see the whole real thing if you put my video back.
Let's go to you. Nice.
Yeah. This is a fancy bubble wrap that they make these days. It's all connected in one channel, so it's not very satisfying to pop. So my original idea was to like take a bad thought and like put it on a bubble and then pop it. And so here I have like specific words for emotions.
So I'm seeing bitter, angry, exasperated.
Yeah, so a combination of like fear and confusion and anger. Yeah. I think like good words for those as opposed to just like I feel bad. Like just like being able to break that into like real words.
It's hard to just go from like I feel bad to something actionable, right?
Yeah, also to understand what the bad feeling is teaching you. So one of the reasons why I liked this sharps example before is like similar to the doctor's office. If someone's using a needle on you at a doctor's office, it's supposed to be helping you in some way. And the same way, like a negative feeling is actually supposed to be helping you some way. It's supposed to be teaching you something. It's only when you like fail to properly process them do they like end up biting you in the ass. And so these are all words for exhaling. For myself, that's what I forget to exhale. So, doing different.
So wait, what's the dots and crosses for in the middle?
The dots and the crosses are vectors. Vectors. So like either going in or out of the plane.
And what does this mean for you?
It means inhale and exhale.
Ah, gotcha.
Inhale into the plane, exhale out of the plane.
I think we could all use a dose of learning how to breathe.
Pranayama, man.
Very true.
No. Anyway, so it's just clamped between two pieces of wood that we had lying around with binder clips.
Oh, 2 pieces of wood with binder clips. Nice.
That's pretty.
It is.
Our way.
I like that. And the bubble wrap. It's like it's cathartic, even if you can't pop them.
It's a reminder of air and breathing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also ties to the fact that we get more packaging now than we used to.
That's true.
As a delivery.
Very true.
It worked out, I think, in the end. Yeah, it took me a while. Even though this was my idea, it actually took me a while to get something that felt actually satisfying.
Yep.
Yeah. Anyway, so it's bubble wrap, it's Sharpie, and it's 2 pieces of wood. It would have to be something pretty rigid for the clamping to really work to clamp down, and big binder clips. It wouldn't be very hard for anyone else to make. Didn't actually, once I knew what I was doing, it didn't take very long, but I did some other things with bubble wrap first. So it took a little bit of exploring and like a whole week of like hating other ideas for me to, in terms of how long, but the actual thing, sitting with a thesaurus to figure out words that felt right. took a little bit of time, but
Yeah, kind of a bummer that this cool fancy bubble wrap is like columns of air instead of like individual pockets of air. So you
yeah,
can't.
I think it could be interesting, really interesting though to use that in a different project where you would have it breathe,
Yeah.
where you could like set it up because it has channels. Right, so there's two channels. You could maybe set something up where you could um, create up a pneumatic system where you could make a whole
Hmm.
sheet of things breathe, and that would be kind
Yeah,
of
yeah.
cool.
Because like when I first saw this, I kind of thought like when I just saw like this grid of labeled things that you
Mhm.
dealt with on a maybe a daily basis, I thought of these sort of daily accounting things that
Mhm.
like one of the most famous ones I remember was the Simone Yates one with the little like LEDs and the cat touch sensors, and so
Yeah.
you just would tap it every day, so you'd like notice when a whole month went by, and it's
Mhm.
like, oh, it'd be kind of cool if you could just poke poke one of those pillows every day and watch the air go out to sort of like let you know that you've done the day,
Yeah.
but you can't do.
An anger advent calendar.
Yes, right.
Have I like come to terms with my anger yet?
I mean, it's kind of
Uh,
bummer that you can't do this with this type of bubble wrap, but this is a much more satisfying bubble wrap than the normal bubble wrap because it's got like little.
it's much more attractive, but
Yeah.
it doesn't pop.
Yeah, yeah. If I was like just seeing this photo, like if it was a little longer, I could almost see this in like a being in a Crate and Barrel catalog as some sort of privacy screen or something. You know?
Excellent.
I mean that dark wood really classes it up.
It does. Walnut makes everything 21st century. This is super. Uh, there you go. Anyway, so that's what I did.
That's pretty cool. Hi, Matt Pinner.
I was talking all this time. I was saying yes, it looks classy. You used walnut last week, and it does look cool.
But
Yeah.
your mic was muted.
And I'm like, oh, and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, if you're asking about LEDs, I can go next if Carlin is finished.
Yes, go
yeah.
for it. There we go. Bring on the LEDs.
All right. Jay asked about LEDs. So, so I was also having, even though I think the whole mental waste processing is a really great topic because there's so much crap that's infecting our brains right now. I was having a really hard time trying to figure out what physical objects. I wanted to make a physical object that represented or helped me deal with this mental waste that I was processing. But then as I was looking around my lab, I realized, oh, there's all this actual waste. Like if you look over here, there's this literal tower of empty 3D printer filament spools from the crash space PPE efforts. And they're so cool and structural, and I hate to throw them away, but I've yet to throw them away because, you know, what do you do with them, right? And so, you know, what is this useful for? I don't know. And so what I did is also, oh well, also sort of as an aside, I also have buckets of LED strip because you know LEDs, right? And all of those are 10 years old at least. Back when everyone was doing just 12-volt single color LEDs. And so I decided to combine these two and make a little lamp that is a, oh, here we go, is a 3D printer filament with LED strips around it. And this is the kind of the dimmest it can be. This is the brightest it can be. And this is like really old filament. And but it
You
still
mean
works pretty well.
old
What's that?
LEDs.
Old LEDs. And this particular filament holder is pretty nice because this is from Prusa, and it's got these hexagon patterns, and the hexagon patterns let the light through, and they also kind of reflect it, kind of in on the sides of the cells of the hexagons. So it looks pretty neat. I'm actually considering, after deliberating for I don't know days on this, after coming back to it and like finishing it in basically like 20 minutes, um, I'm pretty pleased with the result. It makes me want to go and do do a different version, like a more permanent version that maybe hangs from the ceiling of the lab. Maybe do a whole series of them in different colors. I don't even know, but it's a great way to use up the filament spool holders and a great way to use up these old LEDs that are otherwise just sitting, taking up space on the shelves of the lab. So that's vintage LED strip, as J. Edgar Park just said. So I didn't actually process any mental waste, but I processed physical waste that has been causing me mental distress.
There you
And yes, you too can create
that sounds
this.
like a valid thing. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you don't have a 3D printer, you can find someone who does. They will have some of these. You can find 3D. You can find LED strip on Amazon of this kind for like $5 because no one wants this anymore. And yeah, make a lamp. Unfortunately, I'm driving it off of my benchtop power supply, so I can't really move it around very much.
How much does it draw?
Oh, this is the problem. So this is the main problem with the older LED strips. This is 12 volts and it's 2.5 amps.
What?
And it's not that much of a lamp. As far as this was back in the days where like, oh, we're using LEDs for decoration rather than illumination. And so yeah, even though it's actually a little warm, and you think, oh, LEDs don't normally get really warm.
That's 24 watts.
Yeah, 24 watts. Yeah, 24 watts and very, very few lumens per watt.
Yeah.
So Jay asked, we have a nuclear power plant in the
I was
yard.
going to suggest hanging it up, but
We don't have a nuclear power plant, but we do have solar panels.
How many trees, Todd?
How many trees? Oh, I don't know. Let me see. They actually changed the calculation of the trees recently, which is really frustrating. They divided it by 2 for some reason.
Oh.
I need to know why. But this is our. Let me see if I can bring it up on the screen here. This is our graph of solar output. You probably can't read it because of reasons. But at the bottom they have this little thing. Yeah, you totally can't see any of this.
it was better when you were closer up.
Yeah. So here, let me do this.
There you go.
So this is basically the graph of the solar output
Sweetheart,
during
that's our address.
today. What? What?
People are going to see where we live.
Oh, I don't look at that. But at the bottom part, it says our number of trees, and it says 77 trees, and this is how many pounds of CO2. But this amount of trees used to be double this. It used to be now it'd be like 150. But yeah, we've got solar power. We produce megawatt hours sometimes.
Before you go out of your Zoom, and
Sorry.
all of a sudden we can count your beard hairs.
Yes. Sorry about that. Shut it, John Park. All right, if you figure out where I live, come, give me a text or DM or something and come say hi.
Yeah,
We live
we're
in-
not
we
providing
live
much of
in-
a challenge for the OSN IT people.
Yeah, we live somewhere in Montana. I'll let you
Yeah.
know. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Montana, Schenectady.
Yeah, for sure. So how long did that take you to do?
Probably about, I think, maybe 20 minutes, half an hour. I'm just looking at it right now. The hardest part was getting it to get some sort of a stand to put it on, and it turns out the Panavice is both a pretty good stand because I think it looks pretty cool tilted, and it's actually, the Panavice is this nice little flared thing. So I've been trying to 3D print a recreation of this as a stand, but I've yet to succeed. So I don't know. Maybe I'll just buy a Panavice just for it. But Carlin's idea of having it hanging from the ceiling is probably the more appropriate use for this particular
I
arrangement.
like it. I think it looks nice.
I do too.
Yeah.
I think it's neat.
But
I would hang one of those from my ceiling.
totally.
Okay.
And everyone's got 12 volts available to them. So.
It's true.
Ooh, Jay just asked if I considered modding it to rotate. Yeah, someone else I think on Instagram said that it looked kind of like a carnival ride, and so
Oh yeah.
oh yeah, John just said screw the Panavice to the wall like a sconce.
That's kind of
Oh man, actually
really
that's a really fun idea.
We're gonna have to look on Alibaba for all the
Well,
advice knockoffs.
what's the thing is Carlin already has some tools hanging on the wall, like some little tool display things she has hanging up. So it wouldn't be aberrant to have a Panavice attached to the wall.
No, I think it's great.
I think that would be cool. That would be, yeah. It would be an appropriate thing to have in the workshop, though.
Totally.
Little tools. Apparently, I have bits of trash.
No, it's like this week has very much felt like let's repurpose things that are just kind of laying around.
Yeah, as it should be.
I didn't at all repurpose things laying around.
Ooh,
Wait.
Matt Pinner says a Panavice made of walnut.
That is a good. We'll have to.
Do you have a lathe?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all right. Time to get a lathe.
All right.
That was a tough one.
No, see, there are certain avenues of craft that I don't really want to get down because it's sort of this like never-ending hole. Like one of those is professional photography, like DSLR and lenses and stuff, because there's just so many little things to do. And like another is things like machine tools and lathes, and like mills and lathes. Like no. Yeah. No, Matt Pinner says like modular synth. Exactly. I'm already spending all the money and time with the modular synths.
Which you can see on your YouTube channel.
That's right. Come to youtube.com/Toddbot to see modular synth noodlings.
It's fun. I like your videos. Your music's pretty cool.
Yeah. Jay has some cameras.
Yes, he does. Mostly full.
Barb, how much longer should we?
Entirely, or
Should we stall? Yeah, I think Barb is finishing up her thing.
There's no way in hell I can finish this, but I can show you what I have because I've got some of it done. Okay, so mine. Huh? You say you love my idea that you gave me? Yeah.
No, that's not how that went. It was a conversation where
it was a suggestion. It was
like, yeah.
It was an excellently placed suggestion. It was a much needed suggestion. So like, I was having a hard time figuring out what to do with this. Like one of the first things that I was thinking about, and I can't find it, because we started talking about waste and like reusing waste, and I have this this thing that I wove, and I don't think I showed it last week, but I'm not certain where it is right now. Made out of recycled stuff. It's like a weaving with like cracker box and newspapers and random stuff. So I'm like, okay, I don't actually know where to go with this, but I did kind of think back on something that I, once heard, and I dug up some research that, did we link to that in the article? Probably not, huh? I was sending, Carlin, I sent you this thing about,
I did not, but I can add it.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I do. I'll find it. It was about substituting good memories for bad.
Yeah, so like ways of kind of getting rid of...
The other way around, right? Bad memories for good?
Substituting in good memories for bad. I actually got the prepositions right this time.
Yes. Like you've got bad memories, and not like things that you want to learn from, but something that's just gonna like fuck with you. Like you see that it's here and it's just kind of like gonna weigh on you. So it's like, okay, how can you perhaps not actually get rid of it, but at least like minimize its effect. So like one way of doing that some of these, some of this research has suggested is to think instead of a good memory. You can't just say don't think about that memory, because that's like, you know, don't think of an elephant. But if you replace it with something else, something that you are more inclined to think about, then that can kind of keep you from thinking about that and keep the neural pathways from getting as set in stone. Yeah. So it's like just not going to be as, it's less likely to be as impactful. So kind of, I went a few different directions, and that I mentioned on the blog. I don't want to go all the way into it, but I was thinking Viewmaster, I was thinking VR viewer thing, and it's like, yeah, no, none of that sounded right. And then Carlin said, hey, do you have flip bookets around? And I'm like, oh, that's a great idea. So, and of course I have flip bookets around. So I put together, if you don't know what a flip, I think most of the people watching right now know exactly what a flip booklet is. This is made by Mark Rosen and Wendy Marvel, and Steve. Steve's involved in this. But they made these cool things that let you do like a flip book. And I have been busy as hell. So what I did kind of use recycled things, because I went through my old photos and I looked up, I found 24 photos of things that were like good memories, or relaxing, or something pleasant, things that would remind me of that. So if I have a memory that I want to replace, all I got to do is pick this up and spin it, and then stop randomly on something. And I obviously haven't finished it yet, but then I land on something, and it's like, okay, this is here. Shall I go full screen? Let me go full screen so you can see.
Yeah.
Okay. This is in London. A lot of the things, my cat is right here. Hi, Kate. Hi, Solo. Solo, you were getting like so in the way right now. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this was in London. A lot of my pictures are from travel, because that's really fun. That's from Pittsburgh. This is cutting on a scroll saw. This is in Alkmaar in the Netherlands. That's the bottom half of a picture in Golden Gate Park in San Francisco.
Oh yeah.
That is a different picture, but yeah.
Oh, I totally want to make one of these.
Yeah, but then like I've got a thing. Yeah, no, they're fun. They're really cool. And then I've got like other stuff, like the trees from like my undergrad campus that are just like gorgeous, like cool, like really unique trees. Something from like the Santa Cruz Beach Boardwalk, which is, you know, part of my history, hanging out with my friend's kid. What else is in here? There's like the Edison downtown.
Oh yeah, I love the Edison.
Or in LA, which I love. I've got I don't know what else I did that one.
Remember going out to bars?
that was a thing. There's me and my mom.
Oh yeah.
This
That's
is from
cool.
like Maker Faire. That's my grandma. On the other side of this, another piece is of like my little brother lying down sideways. And so yeah, there's like stuff from all over the place, and yeah, like California Institute of, or Academy of Science, is that it? And again in San Francisco, because I freaking love San Francisco. Oh my gosh, like D&T. And then where the wild things are is actually from a pizza place in Santa Barbara, or in Isla Vista, called Woodstock's Pizza. And it's and I went to grad school there, and we used to go to Woodstock's all the time, and there's like a giant mural of like that picture plus all of the other parts too. So it's cool. Like this huge Where the Wild Things Are mural, and I couldn't find a. Oh, you're coming back through now, Soul?
Are you talking to me?
Interrupt things again. Hi, kitty.
You talking to the cat?
Hi, cat. Solo, come here. If you're gonna come up here, if you're gonna like be on screen. He's like, no,
kitty.
Nope. Cat butt.
That's Solo.
That's Solo.
Solo butt.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's, I dug up all of these pictures and I stuck them in the. Yeah, if you haven't checked out Flipbookits, it's fun.
Have
So
you
so
made one?
there is actually a Flipbookit. Flipbookit was in the news recently, or
Yeah.
news. There was a Boing Boing post. I posted. I put it in the chat. With some dude named Tim
Here on
Burton.
my screen now.
They're Las Vegas themed.
Yeah. I think they were planning on having like a big show at like the Museum of Neon Art or something, or the I don't know what it is, but I suspect because of the current situation, none of that got actually in reality happening. But we have pictures of it.
It's cool.
Yeah, it was kind of weird just browsing Boing Boing today, and I'm like, oh look, Flipbook it. What's that? Barb was just talking about those.
Yeah, what's neat about them is they have blacklight.
Yeah, and they're motorized, I think too.
Yeah,
they're neat.
Got a motorized one.
Version.
I've got a motorized
Yeah.
one downstairs.
So how long? So it's taking you some time to actually make the little blades. How long does it take to assemble a Flipbookit?
Yeah, what's the process? I've not actually done it yet.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can tell you about it.
Yeah.
So then you assemble the box, which took me like, I don't know, 15 minutes to put the box together, if that.
Mhm.
And then, if there's instructions, there are video instructions if you want to see the video instructions made by some gal named Bart Makes Things. What? I did the tutorials. Yeah. Anyway, and so then there's this whole spindle deal and like the wheels and all of this jazz, which is part of what you put together. And then on the website you can upload either like a video or individual frames. Most of the time, the idea behind this is to make an animated thing, which is not at all what I did, clearly.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then it'll download. It'll create like this because it splits them up so that you can fold them around these little cards, and they'll line up. Yeah, they'll line up in the right order. So yeah, and then you just put them in, and poof. It's not a terribly difficult process.
So like all the other flipbook stuff I've seen has been little animations, like basically little physical animated GIFs, and seeing it as individual, totally different pictures, I think is a really cool hack of the whole. I mean, maybe someone else has done this. Maybe this is like a standard thing people do with Flipbookits, but I've never seen it. And so I was like, oh, this is great. It's sort of like the random picture generator.
Yeah, no, Mark and Wendy have done like all the things that you can do with Flipbookit. But like, yeah, I mean, if you power it with a servo, and you can control where it stops. And so they have a number of ones where there are like 3 different ones like next to each other. And they'll have like an animation that starts on one and moves across. And like this one goes, and then it stops. And it's like a bird flying across several different boxes. And there are a number of like installations of them where there's just like a whole set of them, and they do some really fun, interesting things with them.
Yeah, the noise really sounds fun.
Flipbookits for a while. Yeah, this is pretty fun. When I finish putting this together, yeah, I'll post it on there. We'll stick pictures up and stuff. But, yeah.
So I still want to get one of those flip dot displays. You know what I'm talking about?
I do. Does like a train station display?
Yeah. You can get them. There was like on eBay now, because like some East Coast bus company was upgrading all the signs on their buses. You can get these, I don't know, couple foot long and maybe 6 inches tall flip dot displays for like only a couple $100, and people figure out how to drive them, and they make really satisfying sounds,
You could
kind of like that.
You could just do a bunch of these next to each other.
No, because this has pixels. It's all about the pixels.
Okay, so how many are showing up this week?
Oh no, I've not ordered any. Sorry. Yeah.
Oh, liar.
But I've been really close.
Put them in the window. Outdoor neighbors.
Don't make me
I
go on
think Jay
eBay.
wants
I'm going on
URLs.
eBay.
Jay wants to know where to look.
We're gonna be you and Jay are gonna be bidding against each other.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
totally. Here, let me see if I can find one that I was looking at. Nope, that's not it.
So, Barbie, you were saying actually that you were. I was really happy to hear that you were actually have been using your remedy book.
Yeah, I've been exceedingly stressed out lately. There's a lot happening. I mean, everybody has a lot happening. Um, yeah, I've been pretty stressed out, and it's like as I was putting this together, it's like, you know what? I remember like I studied music, and music was always a big thing, and I kind of fell away from it a little bit. So this kind of brought me back a little, and I started picking up my ukulele again and playing it, and I
Oh,
realized like,
nice.
oh, okay, I've got songs that I like, and they're not like terribly like they're challenging enough, um, but like they're it's nice to play. Like I sit down and I play a couple songs, and I feel better.
Yeah.
Like it feels good.
Awesome.
And I've got like a few songs in the book. I'm gonna add some more, and then just doodling in the book is pretty fun too.
So I'm so glad to hear it.
Which I'm going to be decorating the outside of this too. Of course I am.
But of course.
Oh, can't not. Yeah. But yeah, no, I'm kind of happy that we did that.
Oh, good.
Fun artifact.
Yeah, because that's one of the problems that that Carl and I were talking earlier. That like, I think this was originally meant to be making actual things to help us through these challenging times, and a lot of it's been turned into like at least for me, just sort of like ways to experiment quickly with various LEDs.
This is a way of cooking for sure, but I was thinking about like part of why I struggled so much this week, where I was like, oh, I could do this like sharp box, or I could do that. I'm just like, you're not gonna fucking use that. Like, you're not gonna you're gonna do it. It's gonna be like that tray that you made early on with the like tea and the laying out. I don't do that. I don't use it. Like, I haven't. Whatever. Like, so I wanted to do. If I hang this on the wall, I'll look at it. But I do use the knob that Todd made in the thing a day.
So
I fell off the wagon a bit,
Yeah.
which is part of the problem I'm having is because I fell off the wagon. And so thinking about things that would in fact actually help. And so I was really glad to hear that you've been using the remedy book and it has actually helped.
Well, I mean, okay, so yeah, I mean, I'm a fan of physical objects, but I don't think that it's necessarily a requirement that you have a physical object to have something be valuable to you.
And also, and Matt
is valuable.
Matt just made a really good point that the exercise of inspiration and the exercise of looking through,
Yes,
of like trying to feel inspired and scanning for the world for inspiration is a good practice.
no, that like that's been kind of my operating principle for for my participation when you guys invited me to do this. Was I'm like, oh, I'm going to use it as a way to get over the hump of it's hard to produce anything. But if you purposely set the bar really low of like, oh, it's this like thing that's only gonna go on a live stream. It doesn't have to exist. I can like I can tell myself I don't have to think about it after Friday. It's very freeing, and so I've been able to explore a lot more of doing things than I would have had in the last 2 months. I've done a lot more little exploration of arty things that I've done in like months. So
thank you, Barb, also for encouraging us to do this as like an actual stream instead of just a blog post, which I was like, I'll just do a blog post because I know how to blog because I'm like, because I don't think the internet progressed past the 90s.
Well, it's like part of the
Back
thing.
when it
Like
was
we all
good.
came from different places. We all come from different places on this. Like you wanted like to do a blog post, and I think you were like talking. Weren't you talking along the lines of like writing up tutorials and stuff?
Well, I think it was more like along that. Yeah, I did a couple tutorials early on, in terms of like just. I don't know what I was thinking totally, but it was just sort of like, oh, we'll just do like a post a week about something that people can do to like stop freaking out and reset their brain. I think I was calling it like mental reboots or things like that. And then talking to you, taking it to the whole next level. And so this comes back to the thing where like just talking to someone else changes and moves what you're thinking about things. And so it's nice to be able to do that.
Yeah. Like, I mean, back when I was making videos every week, like it was a lot of work. But I did like recognize the value of like that deadline pushing you to do something every week. Like I got a ton done. I got so much done. I have like this big portfolio of things that I've done, but the energy level required to do that is a lot.
Yeah.
Whereas if we're doing something like this, where it's just a live stream, which like, you know, you make something that takes not a huge amount of time. And then to present it, it's an hour of hanging out with cool people and chatting with them and drinking and just showing things that you make. Like,
yeah, but this is very much not my wheelhouse. So it is for pushing me to like I need the formal outline, the sheet. So thank you. But like random ass crap trash that I'm handing in my wall, like, and I'm showing it to people. I don't think so. Like this is very much not my reflex. So I appreciate. Thank you for pushing me to do it.
I don't know, Carlin. I think you should walk that back a little bit because, like, how many years have we had the Post-it note fur on the living room wall?
Yeah, but nobody sees that but us.
Post-it note fur.
I don't even know.
No. Okay. So,
I don't even understand the original impetus of it now.
Spill the tea. Todd and I are celebrating our 10th.
Carlin's gonna show.
No, we're celebrating our 10th anniversary next week. It's very exciting. Oh, hi, Max.
Oh, there's our cat. I think he's been trying to get into my lab. So.
He doesn't understand. Hi, Max. All right, we'll feed him in just a second. So I moved into Todd's house about 9.5 years ago, and there's been some discussions, negotiations about what gets changed, what doesn't get changed, and blah blah blah. So there's this interesting angled wall, and at one point I was like, I'm gonna use Post-it note glue and hang like little pieces of paper from this wall, and wouldn't that be interesting? And because oh my God, what is this poster?
What? It's a palm tree. Jeez.
I know. This is
the place. I like it.
Everyone who lives in Southern California has to have a palm tree poster. Come on.
Okay, I know, sweetheart. It's great. I love it. I've come to love the.
And it's a print, not a poster. It's in a frame.
It is true. It's on a frame. It's great. I love it. I don't know what our house would be without it anymore. But yes, so this was an experimentation that I immediately got like the look from Todd about. So it didn't go anywhere, and yet in my true passive-aggressive way, it has stayed on the wall.
Yeah, it's there. It's been like there for like 8 years now.
It's an art.
It's so fun. It's meant to be comforting, sweetheart, because sometimes I have these harebrained ideas and you think that I'm actually going to execute on them. This is a lovely reminder that this like terrible idea that I had won't actually happen. You can
I don't know. I still think there's something to it. I think there could be something really cool having that texture. But
Yeah.
You need more of it. You need more bad ideas to
yes,
fill out the wall.
more.
Speaking of wonderful bad ideas, tell everybody what our idea is for next week while I go get the cat.
Yeah, what's the idea, Todd? What's our next theme?
Oh, it's my. Oh, that's right. It's my. It's my.
It's
Sorry.
your turn. Yeah. For a
Oh,
second,
shoot.
I was freaking out and thinking it was my turn, but no, it's you. That's what the
Oh,
agenda
wait.
says.
Oh shoot. Yeah. No, I need to find. I need to find the list because I kind of forgot. Hold on.
Oh, you forgot what it was?
I mean, I kind of remember what it
I
is.
remember that it was really cool. I don't remember what it was.
No, it was something meant to be
Oh, you
specifically
wanna,
lighter
like,
lighter
actually-
this week. All right, hold on.
Yeah,
My
yeah,
computer
yeah.
actually works now, so I can
No, like,
actually look at some of these things.
disposal. Angry, just yeah. Oh, project ideas. Wait,
Here we go. All right. It is.
Oh, I see it.
Wait
You
for
see
it.
it?
Tiaras and bowties. Something to look fancy in video chat is this next week's. So if anyone listening wants to participate and make something that is in the kind of genre of tiaras and bow ties, something to make you look fancy during your video chats.
Yeah,
because we are in so many video chats nowadays.
We should have everybody come on.
What is that, Barb? It looks awesome.
It's so good.
This is bunny ears with goggles, and the goggles are rainbow mylar. So I see rainbows. I just see rainbows.
So good.
It's kind of awesome. Can you see them?
That's awesome.
I have a bunny ears one where they go up and down, but this is the one that has the goggles. So you know.
That's awesome. So you're done already then?
Yeah.
I'll do something else. I'll do something fun. I don't know what yet, but I like this. This is just kind of a simple, straightforward. I don't know. Although y'all seem to come up with, you turn my expectations upside down. So I'm curious.
I'm just gonna. I got mine done.
Oh, I like it.
LED crown.
Find a way to make it stay in your head.
Yeah, just plain down my head. It'll be flat. It'll be okay.
You could totally rock a tiara, sweetheart. I have been telling you this for years. That
It's got to be an LED tiara with gimbaled lasers.
ooh,
That would be cool.
a rock show on your head.
Yeah.
We get get little ooh, we do little propane torches. Ooh,
Little propane bursters. Uh-oh.
As
I'm
I
going to
was
call
going-
911. Don't do it. No, that doesn't make fire. That just makes spark.
no, I know, but we can do it. This could be the trigger, and then
Oh my god, Carlin's going to set her head on fire.
Oh no! But did you guys see the woman's hell wallet?
What?
Oh, there's this woman who's made this amazing wallet where it's basically uses, I think it's just like inside material soaked with lighter fluid and a sparker. So you open the billfold one way and it's a normal billfold. You open the billfold the other way and the whole thing lights on fire. And she has great explanation. Like she's like, you're gonna get burned, but it's worth it because no one expects this. It is amazing. I wish I remembered her name.
Totally.
But Hell Wallet or something like that is the Google search term.
Hell wallet.
It was pretty impressive.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. So we will be posting pictures of Carlin's charred hair.
pretty much.
After she sets it on fire.
Well, we do know a pyro expert in the guise of Hutch, and so maybe we get Hutch to make us little micro propane bursters that.
I was thinking fireworks coming off your head.
You like discourage this behavior.
What?
Kind of believes in safety.
Oh, you want it to go out more like this, like.
All right. On that note,
Thinking is like when I was going through
Oh, flip
pictures,
bucket hat, yeah.
flip bucket hat. I have a picture in my old pictures of Matt Pinner wearing a flip bucket hat.
Oh, there you go, yeah.
Matt, I don't know if you remember that, but yeah, I have photos of it. Sorry, it didn't quite make the cut to go into the good memories thing because it wasn't quite enough of a solid memory. But it was cool picture.
all right. On that good memory note,
Yes. All right.
Oh.
Thank you for joining us. Join us next week when we make bow ties and tiaras or something along those lines.
oh, it's like something fancy. Getting
Or
fancy.
propane bursters. All right.
Real
Cheers.
fan. All right. Cheers.
Ugh.